Hi, my name is Michael Champlin. I am a math teacher at Hilton High School. I am currently enrolled in this class to finish my master's degree in math education. Uh, Originally, for as far as my academic and professional background, uh, I tried school many times when I was in my late teens and early 20s. I changed my majors from philosophy to music to business to liberal arts, and it just wasn't for me at the time. So then I got into the restaurant business, and I've done a lot of everything from managing to bartending, and I did that for 20 years. It was great. It was great money. However, it just wasn't as rewarding for me. So I decided to go back to school. And at the time, I was really into like working out and lifting, and so I decided to go back to MCC or Monroe Community College to get my associates in health. And then I decided to further that and look into physical therapy. So I went to Brockport in Brockport College, and I was pursuing my academic career in exercise science with intention to get my doctorates in physical therapy. But doing so, I took a calculus class to enhance my resume to get into physical therapy school. And I found that I enjoyed calculus and being in a classroom way more than I enjoyed being in a gym or I should say a room taking care of athletes. So that pursued my path into mathematics and into education, and I got my bachelor's and dual certified actually with students with disabilities, math, and now I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree. Um, However, that led me into my observations and into my future career, so I have observed in the city at Little Wilson. I observed in Spencerport for my special education program. However, I did my student teaching in Hilton, which eventually led me to a job there as a full-time math teacher. However, I did take a year before that. I was a teacher assistant at Greece Arcadia in an 811 program, and I also was a long-term sub for Webster Willink Middle School for 7th grade mathematics. All right. For my experience with assessments, uh, I know this class is probably going to go with more specifics, but I look at it in three ways. I look at my informal, my formal, and my summative. For my informals, let me be more specific also. I teach Algebra 1 for 9th grade, and I also teach a local level of Intro to Statistics. So one has a Regents and one has just a local program. So as far as my informal goes, I use the both for both classes. I use class practice time where I do informal checks like in person, teacher follow-up, feedback, and reflections. And I also include my exit tickets and warm-ups for my informal because I don't always grade them, but I use them to check in. A lot of times I do grade them to get students' participation to take it seriously. However, I don't always grade them. My formal are my quizzes and my unit tests. There are high stake grades. I do hold them responsible for those grades too. I rarely do retakes or remakes, or I hardly ever do test corrections. My intro to stats, if I do have some students really need support, I will give them corrections. However, for my formals, I don't like to do many corrections or retakes. If a whole class as a whole doesn't do well, I will find ways to maybe do an additional test or an additional assessment. But I don't like retakes because I want them to be held responsible for formal. And then I look at summatives, and I look at my summatives as my regents, a major project for like an end of the year or an end of a term, and or a final exam. I also use in my school in the IB program, which is an international program where they compare students' grades and other things. So kind of a wrap up. And then a fun fact on my assessments as a math teacher, I hate when students don't or when they leave blanks. So earlier this year, I was like, why don't you at least draw me something? So all through the year, students drew me pictures and wrote me notes and wrote me goofy jokes, and I hung them on my wall. And then at the end of this year, I made a collage and framed them. So now from this point on, I'm going to try every year to make a new frame collage of my students' doodles and drawings and just goofiness. So yeah, I hope that worked out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this class. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.